Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So apparently, right after I stopped the video, I died of starvation. Yeah. So that kind of sucks. The reason there's no sound right now, or other than my voice, is because the music is really loud, and I want to give you my opinion on this game, just for a little bit. So, here's what I think of this game. This is basically a 2D style of um, horror exploration. The best thing I can compare it to is a 2D Silent Hill. If you ever played a Silent Hill game, it's basically like this, except it's 2D version of it. Now, I don't know if you explore any further than just your apartment, which I'm pretty sure you will eventually. But I'm right now just as when the video stopped and I died, it just restarted me from last I saved, and I think I played like 5 minutes extra before the last save. And the saving mechanic in this game is basically it reminds you to save almost every 7 minutes of what it seems like. So basically, the way it reminds you to save, it will pop up a message saying, "Oh, I'm so tired. I feel sleepy, and I'm having a slight headache." Something like that. You know, you have sleep deprivation. That's what you're gonna get. And the way the game makes you go save basically is by telling you those things during this game. So when you see that message pop up, you need to go back to your apartment and save. Now that's the one thing I don't think that I like about this game is that every 7 minutes you go and save. Really? But you're telling me I'm sleeping or my character is asleep for 8 hours, and yet he can only stay awake for a measly 7 minutes of real life time? That is way too quickly. I get it's a way for the game to remind you that you need to go and save often, but it's way too frequent in when you have to do this, and it really breaks from the immersive atmosphere. The reason Silent Hill games were so good is because you didn't have to do this, saving mechanic that you have to go back to your apartment every 7 minutes. Imagine if you have a set save point within a Silent Hill game, only one save point inside a Silent Hill game, and every 7 minutes your character yells out, "Oh, go and save." Yeah, just imagine that. It's not going to put you in this immersive mood into this game. And that's what I feel like this game is trying to do. You know, it's just really wanting you to be safe, and so that you can just go and play this game and every 7 minutes go back and save, because it doesn't have an automatic saving system. Because it doesn't have this auto save system, it does this manual style of saving to where it just pops up a message and it tells you to go save. That just breaks my immersion of this game so much. Like, really, you can only stay awake for freaking 7 minutes and then you have to go back and save again? I mean, for every single video that I put out so far, in every single video, he screams out at me and says that I need to go and save, or that he needs to go and sleep, which is ridiculous. It's way too frequent in when you have to do that. Now, the second problem I have with this game is that the food mechanic. The food mechanic is ridiculous. Okay, you don't find a lot of food in this game, yet the same problem occurs. You have to eat something every 7 minutes. It's just ridiculous. Okay? And every time you go to sleep and you wake up, you have to eat something. Because in the game, when you go to sleep, you technically slept for 8 hours. And, when you wake up after 8 hours of not eating anything, you're probably going to feel hungry. So that you have to eat something. And the game doesn't give you enough food so that you constantly will be able to eat something. As you see with the last part, when I drink my milk, I got a stomach ache because it's bad milk. But the game doesn't tell you that it's bad milk. Okay, it doesn't say that. It just drinks it. Really, if you're an actual person and you see milk on the ground, inside of an apocalypse, wouldn't you open it up and smell it first to see if it's sour, or like pour out a little to see if it's chunky? I mean, those are the two most common ways to make sure milk is still drinkable. It's still edible for you. So I don't get why you care to just drink it just because you tell him to. I mean, he doesn't open cupboards. Let's put it that way. He drinks rotten sour milk, okay, on your command, but he doesn't open a cupboard that is inside somebody else's apartment because he's like, oh, this is not my stuff. I'm not gonna open this. What the hell? Really? You're inside of an apocalyptic setting, and yet you won't open a cupboard because it's not yours? What the hell? Come on, man. Okay. Another thing about this game is that the aiming system is so off. As you see, I had to be really close to shoot at a person at one of those things' face by aiming upwards. Now, the thing is, if you stand far away and you just aim straight and shoot, you're actually shooting into their chest. Okay, and it takes, I believe, twice the amount of bullets to actually kill something from that range away. So, by shooting them in the chest, I mean. So that means you have to be really close. So that aiming mechanic could have been fixed. Okay, they could have just automatically aimed at the heads of these things for you. Okay, so that you don't have to waste ammo just because you can't aim inside this game. If you can aim in this game, that wouldn't be a problem. But since it's auto aim, not really auto aiming, but since this is live aiming, you can only shoot upwards, straight, or down. Okay, and since you can only shoot in those three specific directions, you would think that when you stand far away and you point your gun at one of those creatures, your characters would automatically do a headshot because you pick up a letter saying, headshot's actually useful against these things. So you would think that your character would be smart enough to do a headshot, but no. You have to get up really close, point the gun upwards into their head, and then shoot. But then what's the point of a gun? You're like 2 feet away from the freaking monster, and you're shooting at him. And that leads me to another point. Some of the monsters in this game just stands there and look at you while you're shooting them in the face with a gun, while others will run at you and constantly hit you in between your shots. Like, the AI is very puzzling in what it wants to do. Okay? So yeah, that's really my mini thoughts on this game. I mean, it's a very strange 2D style Silent Hill game. I mean, it's trying to accomplish this Silent Hill style of exploration, but in a 2D style. In this 2D graphical style. And my personal opinion, I don't find anything in 2D to be scary, ever, because it's not real. I mean, it's all pixelated. So this right now is not meant to be a horror game. Okay, it's not meant to be a psychological thriller. I mean, yeah, you'll get like, I'm afraid I'm gonna die. But creatures look so pixely in this game that you're gonna be like, that's just a freaking brown blob walking at me. That's not scary. It's not detailed enough to strike that fear sensor in you because it's not like, that it's not real per se. But in other horror games, like Amnesia or things like that, where it actually puts you into a first person view and that, you're literally defenseless. Those kind of games, yeah, it's a little bit more scary. And same thing with the early Silent Hills game. Those are also very scary, even though it's in the third person view. But you also have enemies that are more detailed in that you can actually see what they are and what they look like. And in this game, since the graphic style is just very oddly chosen, it doesn't really fit that horror genre because you won't be afraid of a freaking pixel monster. Come on. So in its achievement for horror, for me, is not very scary. Okay, it's not very scary at all, sadly. But then I'm a very hard person to actually scare. I say that, but I don't play horror games that much because, frankly, I don't like being scared. But yeah, as story aspect of this game is very dull for the first hour. Okay, I played at least an hour of this game already, and it's very, very dull. It's nothing. There's no improvement. There's no plot movement. When you get to new places in this game, there's just nothing. It's just very, very dull at the very beginning. Hopefully it gets better, but I'm not gonna stick around to find out because I already lost interest in it for the first hour, especially with the saving system, the food mechanic that revolves around the 7 minutes average interval. Yes, you can starve yourself, but then your screen will get blurry. You can't look at maps very clearly anymore. So there's detriments, game effects that changes how you play the game, because you can't see anything in front of you, and you can't. Everything is now blurred, and even though things are already blurred because it's in pixels, but yeah, it's just a very oddly placed game for something this you know late into the years of 2012. If they, you know what I can compare this to? If they really want to make this more terrifying, more horror based, they should remove the sleeping mechanic of every 7 minutes and change it to half an hour. Every half an hour, your person can uh, say that he's sleepy and you need to go back and actually sleep. Okay? Now, now, if you're a smart horror adventure survival player, you would know not to do that. You would know every 10 minutes you should go back and save because you don't want to replay 10 minutes of gameplay. Okay, the game forces that on you. It shouldn't. It should let the player choose when he or she wants to save. Same thing with the food mechanic. It should be every 30 minutes for you to eat something, not every 7 or 10 minutes. It's just ridiculous, to eat something so regularly. It's like, come on. So if they just fix that, and of course change the graphic style, my god. The best thing it can do if they want to still keep the 2D horror feel is to change the graphic style into Terraria graphic style. Okay, it's more crisp, it's more refined 2D style graphics. The background of this game can still be what it is because the background is not 2D, it's actually hand drawn and hand painted, I think it said. Background. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's really my thoughts on this game. And I already put up, and as I said, I put up an hour, I think, worth of footage of this for this game. So if you're interested, if you think that this is what you want to play, I guess you should get it. Just remember, it's a really not that scary game. Don't think it is a scary game because it's not. You're not gonna be afraid or you're not gonna be scared unless later on in the game, the screen suddenly have a terrifying face popped out at you from nowhere. But from the first hour, the story development is minimal, very minimal. Okay, um, the gameplay is boring. Okay, because you just have to constantly be looking for food, constantly be looking to get rest, which makes no sense because when I say constantly, I mean like half an hour would be good in a game setting, but not every 7 minutes. Come on now. And the main character in this game is very boring. I mean, he's just an average person. I get this is supposed to be like a simulated survival situation type thing, but really, this average of a person inside of a game? Come on, I don't want to experience what I would do in a freaking survival environment. I want to see what other people would do, and this guy, for another person, is very boring to see what he does. Okay, so yeah, that's my thoughts on this game. Take it as what you will. Won't give a score for it because obviously I didn't finish the game, so that's out the window. But yeah, that's my opinions on it. If you want to play this game, it is what it is. It is, and I hope you find this interesting, informative. If not, if this has nothing help you whatsoever, then you should go watch my playthrough of like 5 episodes just to get a taste of what this game is about. Okay. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, uh, bye.